We'll continue to listen. We'll continue to make improvements where we can, but there's no question this is the bill that at the end of the day will come to the president's desk, repeal Obamacare, and to begin to give Americans hope and relief again.
Well, some conservative members of the House and Senate are not impressed with the Republican plan to repeal and replace Obamacare, saying that it doesn't go far enough. So what would help bring them on board?
One congressman who says more needs to be done is Texas Republican Louie Gohmert, and he joins us live now. Congressman, thanks for joining us this morning. So I'll pose that straightforward question to you. What would it take to get you on board with this effort?
Well, you got to look at the bottom line. What does it do? We're told if everything works perfectly, we may get an 8, 9, maybe even a 10% reduction in the cost. This is crazy. Obamacare has caused prices to skyrocket. And I got a letter here from a 52-year-old widow that says, my deductible alone $7,000. I'm angry with the government deciding how I should spend what little money I have. And this bill continues to do that. And in fact, the health insurance companies have gotten what they want. In fact, they've got a mandate in here. If you don't do what they say every month, then you're going to have to pay 30% higher. We're doing our own penalty in this thing, just like Obamacare did. It's a different penalty, but it's still a penalty. So we did a more complete repeal 2 years ago, and when our leadership says, well, you got to remember, under reconciliation, we have all these limitations. Guys, we did this 2 years ago, so it is already passed through the Senate requirements. It's already passed by the stupid Byrd rule. And by the way, they talk about it being so complicated. No, the Byrd rule, in essence, is if it affects the budget, then it can stay in reconciliation. And so anything we do to reduce the cost and let people choose what's in their plan instead of the federal government mandating, it's a good thing, and it will affect the budget. It will cost less.
Congressman,
and by the way, everybody keeps talking about this panacea of buying across state lines. If we don't eliminate the exemption from antitrust laws, instead of having 50 monopolies, one in each state, we'll have one for the whole country. That's got to change.
Well, Congressman, you're not alone. We had a guest earlier on the show this morning, Jenny Beth Martin, Tea Party Patriots, says, you know, this is, instead of getting out the garden shears and cutting through this, it seems like what she described, the president got out kindergarten scissors and clipped around the edges a little bit. Is that the frustration here for you?
Yeah, that's the frustration. And you know what? Donald Trump wants to do the right thing. President Trump has made that clear. But unfortunately, he is kept. He was kept for so long from knowing there were objections to the bill. He was being told by those around him and people in leadership, everybody loves it. There's no objections. The outside groups love it. And it wasn't until you mentioned Sean, thank God for Sean, but finally we got a few people in to tell him there are problems. And I'm telling you what, if his so-called handlers would let him sit down with us in a room, we could work this out where we could have a great bill and we could get out the trouble.
Oh, right, but you know what?
But so far, they're not letting that happen.
And politics are at play here as well. I mean, in the House, especially, you've got an election every 2 years. The president has hinted at this, saying if you don't have members of the House coming on board of this plan, then they are going to be primaried in their election. What's your response to that?
Well, because he was being told that everybody loves it, it's a great plan, and so naturally, if everybody loves it, there's no problems, then the few that weren't on board, you would feel that way. But he hasn't been getting accurate information, and I'm telling you, if the Donald Trump that got to manage his own news and didn't have to have briefings on everything, he understood and he had a feel for what people across America want. He has been prevented from getting that feel. And I'm telling you, we get in a room with him, we can work this out.
We got to leave it right there. Hopefully that
American people are hoping for that.